I got bad news, bad news. I've been rolling with some bad dudes, bad dudes. I've been trying to get a bag too, I'm just doing what I have to. I said, mama, I got bad news, bad moods every day, brand new tattoos on my face, sad dude, with a head full of rain. I just wanna make it rain, mama, I will be okay. I feel like I might break right now. I feel like making a fucking mistake right now. Ew. I just need a cake right now. I blow out all the candles in my brains right now. Ew. I'm so tired.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to episode 4 of the Dopey Canuck, a podcast dedicated to taking a humorous look at the serious issues of drugs, addiction, recovery, and all the crazy dumb shit in between. My name is Chuck LaFlange, and thank you for joining me today. Right off the bat, I'd like to say that I'm not trying to glamorize the addiction lifestyle, nor am I trying to minimize the disease that is addiction. And make no mistake, folks, it is a disease. It's all too often, it's a terminal disease. If you are an addict and you are in active addiction, please make today the day. Reach out to somebody, be it a friend, a family member, an NA meeting, an AA meeting, detox, whatever you got to do. Today can be the day that you begin that lifelong journey of healing. In this episode, we're going to tell the story of the Rabid monkey. Now, the story takes place back in our early 20s. It involves, once again, fuck around and find out guy. You'll see he's a character in a lot of my stories, as we're still really good friends too. And it also involves my brother. We're just going to call him the Twin. I don't have a witty nickname for him. We haven't spoken in a long time, and I just don't think it's appropriate to give him one like that. So anyway, at this point in our lives, fuck around and find out, and the Twin are living together along with another fellow, Marshmallow, and he'll probably come up in future stories, but he doesn't really play much of a role in this one aside from kind of being there. So the other thing that's going on, to set some background here, is the Twin and I are working quite closely together. At this point, we both have regular jobs, but on top of that, the Twin is selling lots of weed at the time, and this is before coke and all the craziness that came along with it. It was a lighter time in our lives. Personally, I'm making most of my side money by selling hot items, power tools, car stereos, house stereos, that type of thing. I was never much for stealing it, but I was always really good at selling it. So that's what was going on at the time, and we would work together quite a bit. So the Twin would buy something with weed, and then I would sell it for cash, and of course, the difference in price allows for some extra money to be made in there or whatever. So that's kind of what we're doing for money at the time. So one day after work, I'm sitting over at their house, the Twin and fuck around and find outs, and Twin walks in, and he's got one of these old satchels, like a laptop kind of bag. It would have been the equivalent of back then. Laptops were pretty few and far in between, so but it was like a leather business satchel or whatever the hell you want to call this thing. And he walks in, he says, "Check this out," and he opens up this bag. And I look inside, and this little face, it's a monkey. It's got its teeth bared, and it screams at me. Well, holy shit. It's like, so he closes the bag real quick, and says, "What the hell is that?" He says, "Well, it's a monkey." I said, "What the hell are you doing with it?" He says, "Well, I bought it." Well, I guess he bought this thing for whatever, however much weed he paid for the goddamn thing. So now he's telling me that I got to sell the monkey, because that's, well, it is. It's just kind of what my thing is, right? And who the hell am I going to sell a monkey to? And I don't know. It's kind of your problem. He says, "Hey, well, let's look at it again." And you open the bag, and well, of course, we're a bunch of young guys kicking around this house, and we're all smoking tons of weed back then. And every time somebody come over to the house, and there was a lot of traffic, every time somebody walked in, well, the Twin would have to show him this goddamn monkey. And every single time he opened the bag, this fucking thing would scream. It was just the craziest thing. So we, the inevitable happens. You got a bunch of stoners with a monkey in a bag. Eventually, you all know what's going to happen. The monkey gets out. Well, shit. Now we've got this rabid, pissed off ninja monkey bouncing around the house at 100 miles an hour. We're all trying to catch him, But how do you catch a pissed off rabid monkey, right? Well, so you grab a blanket and, you get over to him. But as soon as you get close, this thing scream at you and it fucking bounce off somewhere else in the house, It's on the fridge, it's on the curtain rods, it's behind the couch, it's all over the map, eh? And but there's just no catching this thing, mainly because we're stoned and terrified of the thing, right? But so anyway, this continues all night, and I do mean literally all night until the morning when we had to go to work. And we're all working at the same company at the time, and I'm a crew supervisor or whatever, so I'm kind of responsible for what's going on. But fuck around and find out he's going to stay home with the monkey, because somebody has to. The thing is still loose, and we can't just leave the thing running around the house on its own. So, I mean, he's probably just being lazy and looking for an excuse to stay home, but whatever. Somebody was going to have to do it, so he did. And I was not expecting, when I walked into work, for the dispatcher to look at me and say, "A fucking monkey?" Well, I guess, and maybe, I think what happened, if I remember right, was fuck around and find out had decided to call in and be honest, right? Like, this isn't the day, this is the one time that it would have been okay to lie, right? And I imagine dispatch would have been happy to hear a lie at that point, because he was having an awful hard time wrapping his mind around us, having a loose monkey in the house. So, in any event, yeah, there's a monkey loose. I wasn't going to start lying now, right? We've gone that far into it. So we're down a guy today, and it looks like, my crew is going out short. So that's kind of how that played out. But at the end of the day, we did find a buyer, and we made good money on the damn monkey, but I do not remember, not for the life of me, who bought it. And I've been trying for more than 20 years to remember, and I just can't. I will say, definitively, it did not go to anybody who seemed like there was even a slightest chance that they were going to eat it or have monkey brains or anything either. So I remember it did go to a good home, somebody we weren't too worried about. I mean, at that point in my life, that wouldn't have been the biggest concern. But as I sit back now and think about things, and man, am I ever glad that it was a concern, because that's something that would eat me up. Of all the crazy things I've done in addiction, let that monkey go to a shitty home would have really sucked. That's something that would have weighed on me quite heavily now in my later and more clear years, if you want to call it that. So anyway, I try really hard to find a takeaway from these stories. I was tasked with that the other day, that if I'm going to humorize the seriousness of addiction, that the least I could do was find some sort of takeaway from each of the stories. And I got to be honest, I'm having a hard time with this one. I can't think of anything that, like a lesson learned from it or anything of the sort. I mean, there's a seriousness of stealing and of dealing in stolen property and all that stuff. But it was a very long time ago, and I'm sorry to the person who inspired me to find a takeaway. I got nothing on this one. So if you do, shoot me an email. Maybe I can edit it in after the fact here at dopeycanuck@gmail.com or comment on the Facebook page, Dopey Canuck. But sorry, I got no takeaway from this. So anyway, let's get into what will always be one of my favorite parts of these podcasts and a favorite part of my day, and that's the gratitudes. So the thing about gratitudes is, whatever point in your life you're at, whether you're in active addiction, whether you're in recovery, whether you've had nothing to do with addiction ever and you're just listening to this for fun, practicing your daily gratitudes is awesome. It really is. For me, it's been an integral and fundamental part of my recovery, and I know I can say that on the behalf of quite of the few recovery success stories I've met in my life. Listing them every day, it really does. It helps. Helps you deal with adverse situations a little bit better. It helps you maintain a positive outlook on life. It helps your relationships, believe it or not. Focusing on the good things in your life can only be a good thing, right? So with that said, let's get into it today. So for today's gratitudes, number one is going to be my niece, who I will refer to as Bear, believe it or not. That's not because of how she looks, it's just because of a nickname that we've given her whole life, and we're trying to keep things anonymous, so I can't use the whole nickname. But Bear she's amazing. She's grown long past her years. She's so smart and she's so beautiful. Her capacity for loving is pretty amazing, considering some of the things that she's been through in her life. And since I moved back to the same city as her, I found an opportunity there to really build up on my relationship with her, and I'm looking forward to that process growing over time. Number 2 is something as simple as the nice weather. I've just come back from a province that doesn't have the kind of winters that we do here, and it's been awesome. I got to tell you, after 13 years of being away from nicer winters, it sure is a nice thing. I'm able to get out and walk every single day here, which is doing great things for me, both physically and psychologically. I'm enjoying the sun, I'm enjoying the nice weather, and well, it's just something to be thankful for, isn't it? Next on the list, this might be kind of a double up thing, because I did mention my mom not too long ago here, but this headset. So this headset's awesome. She gave it to me, and I've gone back and I've re-recorded every single episode to bring up the quality. And if you haven't noticed, if you are re-listening to any of them right now, I've gotten rid of the profanity. My stepmother and my mother made a point of reminding me that I am more than capable of making my point without gratuitous F-bombs here and there. I mean, the odd fuck can add to the authenticity of a story, but it's not needed in the amounts that I was using it. And I got to be honest with you, I'm much happier with the product that I'm producing now too. I feel like it's a much more marketable, kind of wider range product, and I feel better about it, not having used all that foul language. So that's that. And the fourth one is going to repeat itself yet again, and it's going to be you guys, man. The listeners. There isn't a whole ton of you right now, but the ones that are there, I mean, I sure do appreciate it. I appreciate the feedback that I get too. It's therapy for me. It's therapy for me to laugh and to talk about things and to get it out. And so for me, it's a win. It's a win all day long. I mean, I'm trying to make a living at it too. And we'll get there. So with that said, if you are enjoying the content, please, and if you feel like donating a little bit, my email address is dopeycanuck@gmail.com. My Facebook is Dopey Canuck. If you want to donate, please let me know. I'm not too proud to accept it. However, there is a way that you can donate without actually costing you any money at all and still have some money in your pocket yourself. Koho Online Bank, KOHO. Now, I'm not advertising for Koho in any way, shape, or form. If you do this and then never use, the card again, I'm absolutely cool with that. But the referral link's up on my Facebook page right now. But if you go and sign up and use my referral link to do it, you get a virtual card right away, so you're able to use the account right away. And as soon as you spend $5 with it, and you can email yourself, whatever, a few bucks, if you're going to order Skip the Dishes or, something else, anything you're going to do online shopping with, if you just use that instead, right? Anyway, the moment you spend a minimum of $5, we both get 20. It shows up like the next day into your account. So, I mean, hey, Skip the Dishes is on me tonight, right? Spend $20 and, get it back tomorrow kind of thing. There's no credit cards, there's no bullshit, there's no nothing you don't need to sign up for. You don't need to cancel a fucking subscription down the road or anything. It really is just clean and simple, and we both get $20, and I would so appreciate it. So anyway, if you are an addict in active addiction, please, like I said in the beginning, make this the day. Make this the day that you reach out. Addiction is terrible, it's lonely, and it's an awful place to be. So find a friend, find a family member, find an NA meeting, do whatever you need to do. But please do reach out and make today the day you start healing. One of my favorite messages to pass on is this: if you are the loved one of an addict, make today the day. If you had time to listen to me rant just now, you've got time to send a text. Send a text that says you are loved. Maybe it's I miss you. Maybe it's I love you. You are loved is one that my mom used a few times with me, and every single time I got that message, it gave me a little bit of hope. And without hope, an addict has nothing. So please take a moment, send that message. It may just be the thing that brings them back. Thanks everybody for listening, and I will catch you in the next one.
I'm just doing what I have to. I said, mama, I got bad news, bad moods every day, brand new tattoos on my face, sad dude, with a head full of rain. I just wanna make it rain, mama, I will be okay. I feel like I might break right now. I feel like making a fucking mistake right now. Ew. I just need a cake right now. I blow out all the candles in my brains right now. Ew. I'm so tired of flexing. I got a minor confession, like I might die from depression. Like, whoa.